And joining us now in the studio with more on politics during this election season is Jeremy Saltan, the Yamina Party's Knesset Faction Director. Jeremy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Lidar.
So we've just heard of this new merger between Gantz and Saar. Yoaz Hendel reportedly off of the list and in talks with Ayelet Shaked to join Yamina. What can you tell us about this?
Well, first of all, I'll say that I was disappointed to see that Gantz-Saar decided to go ahead and hook up with Benny Gantz. I would have liked to have seen a merger of Yamina, New Hope, and Israel Beitenu, and really see the entire new national camp, the right-wing parties that were part of this coalition, go together. Gantz-Saar decided to go over to Benny Gantz, and for whatever reason, he's ejected the right-wing members of his party, Yoaz Hendel, Tzvika Hauser, reportedly also perhaps even Sharon Heskel. I think it's natural that we would go ahead and examine the option of including those who were rejected by Gantz-Saar to maintain whatever is left of this new national camp moving forward to the next election. In the previous election, this new national camp brought 20 seats. So again, it's a very puzzling thing for me to see Gantz-Saar go ahead and go with Benny Gantz, the very person who just spent this week meeting Abu Mazen the third time this year. It's just, again, something that baffles me.
Interesting. And let's talk a little bit about Yamina. I mean, Ayelet Shaked saying she will run to the end with
Correct.
the party. But what is left of the party? You know, Seelman left. Shikli was declared a defector, is on his way to the Likud. Olbach, probably the same. You know, who will be running alongside Shaked? Who is going to be on Yamina's list?
Well, I think we, first of all, have a very good faction, even before we talk about the possible reinforcements that I mentioned of perhaps Hendel and Hauser and Sharon Heskel. We have Interior Minister Ayelet Shaked. We have the Deputy Minister in Religious Services, Matan Kahana. We have Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Office, Abir Kara. We have MK Shirley Pinto. We have former MK and now incoming MK, Yom Tov Kalfon. You have myself as well. I think we have a very good team, a very good faction. We should see additional reinforcements come in, again, as part of the new national camp. And I think that, again, we will actually do a lot better than you see right now in the current polls.
Now, I just want to talk for a second about Shikli, because a new ruling came in saying that he will be able to run with the Likud in the next election. I mean, how big of a blow is this to Yamina?
Well, first of all, the court said that he has until, I believe it's Wednesday, to resign. He's still not done so. So first of all, we have to actually see if he does that. But assuming he does resign and leave, I think it makes sense for him to go and run with the Likud. I don't think there's enough room in the political map at this point for another party there. If you're looking at the only Bibi camp besides Smotrich and the Haredi parties in Likud, I don't think there's enough room for another party right there.
Mm-hmm. And so, you know, recent polls have placed Yamina under the political threshold. I mean, what can you tell us about this? And how do you think the inclusion of some of the MKs that you mentioned, such as Hendel, such as Sharon Heskel, will this affect the polls, you think?
Well, as you just pointed out, we've not released the submission of our list. We don't yet have a clear picture of who the top 10 candidates are that we want to be sending to the 25th Knesset. I think that once we do, and it is clear to the voters what list it is we're running with, I think we will again do very well in the polls. At this point, people know that Ayelet Shaked is number one. We don't know who's going to be number two or number three. Again, we have the names of the people within Yamina, other people who could be added on. But we still don't know exactly how that's all going to settle out. I think once we do figure that out, we'll be able to see that reflected in the polls.
Now, you've also been an advisor to former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Have you spoken to him recently since his decision to leave politics?
Yeah, of course. We speak all the time.
And, you know, what can you tell us? I mean, what brought on this decision to leave? Was the Prime Minister's chair perhaps too big a chair for him?
It was not at all. I think Naftali Bennett was the best Prime Minister we ever had. I don't think he's been given enough credit for going ahead and really putting Israel first. And really doing something that no one expected him to do. Certainly, as you mentioned, a lot of people within our list did not expect us to go in this direction. And really, I think he really went ahead and he saved us from a very, very, very damaging situation of perhaps going to a fifth election and what could have happened afterwards. I really feel that he saved the Jewish state at that courageous time when he decided to go into this government. His decision not to run is just primarily a fact that he's looking at the current situation and he's looking at a very intensive year in office. I don't think, if you look back at previous prime ministers, that you saw a year that anyone went through the type of stuff that Bennett had to go through. And it makes sense that he wants to go ahead and take a little bit of a break, but I do believe that he will be back. We've not heard the last from Naftali Bennett within the political arena. And I think in the meantime, it is Yamina. It's our job, the loyalists, the people who did stay and remain loyal to the party, to keep things going so that he has a vehicle to enter when he is ready to come back into the arena.
And do you think he made the right choice in leaving?
I personally would have, again, I really wanted, I also told him, I said, I think you should stay. He made the decision to go ahead and to not pursue this election. And again, I completely understand that. There are, like I said, a number of considerations that went into that, but it makes a lot of sense to me why it is that he ultimately decided not to run in this election. But again, when I look at Ayelet, I look at Matan Kahana is a great representative who is the continuation of the heritage of Naftali Bennett, his legacy moving forward. I like to view myself as also another person of that vision. And again, it's up to us to be able to keep things going. Even if he's not on the Knesset list, he's a member of the faction, he's a supporter of the party, and I know that he's there to support us when needed behind the scenes.
All right, Jeremy Saltan, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.